Great, so I'm Emily Frank from LSU Libraries, and I'm going to be talking about how the decisions that we've made with collection development, I think, kind of provide a case study or a mirror into a window into the types of decisions libraries face more broadly. So there was a period of time when our ebook collection development looked like this. We were buying a variety of different types of ebooks, single user, multi-user, unlimited user, all with and without DRM, and those were coming through a variety of acquisition models. Those demand-driven acquisition plans, subscriptions, permanent acquisitions. And what this meant was we had inconsistency, and as a result, different titles would have different end-user restrictions. For us, this resulted in a couple of different things. We saw that there was some frustration and confusion with the end user patron experience that we were providing with these ebooks. This resulted in subsequent librarian frustration or being yelled at, whatever, however you want to define it, and overall a lack of cohesive experience between the collections in terms of the restrictions and requirements for use. So to address this, at this time, what we did was we built up the processes and packaging that surrounded these ebooks. So we had things like help pages on how to use our ebooks. We would have librarian instruction time being focused around how to use our e-resources, instead of focusing on some of those more higher level information literacy skills that librarians are dedicated to. And then there were also just numerous emails like these ones that I was sending as a public services librarian to our collection team, trying to figure out for specific titles what the usage restrictions were or why a book wasn't working as we were anticipating it should be working based on the DRM. So we began to think about what type of experience we were providing for our users versus what we wanted to be providing with our ebooks. And I recall at the time I attended a webinar led by a librarian who said that in his perspective, users will jump through whatever hoops to get to needed content and to meet their goals. And this really has stood out in my memory, not only because I don't think that aligns with my experience of how users interact with our content, but more than that, we just don't want using our content to mean jumping through a series of hoops. We believe, and I, even for myself, think that I want fast and easy access to good content, and not only kind of satisfying getting that good enough content. What we want is users to really deeply engage with our content for the teaching and learning outcomes that would come out of that deep engagement. And so as we were looking into this more, we saw that deep engagement, for that, research shows that you must lower the interaction cost. And when we were thinking about how do we lower the interaction cost with our content, something that we focused on was DRM. So then we started really expanding or examining our larger strategy. We knew that we were really committed to ebooks and all the benefits that came from that, anytime, anywhere access with our e-collections, helping us address some space concerns we had, but we wanted to do this in a way that minimized the constraints that we saw with DRM. So we revised our approach to be in line with the Charlotte Initiative, which was something that we participated in. At that time, we also terminated those demand-driven acquisition plans and focused our collection funds around large package purchases. We also revised our profile in Gobi, which is the vendor we use for the majority of our title-by-title print and ebook purchases. So we revised that profile to only enable purchase of ebooks that met these requirements. So a couple of initial outcomes that we've seen since then is that we do see less user confusion and strong trends continue to occur with our e-collections, but a big one is that it has enabled some new initiatives. And the one that I'm going to be talking about is one that we launched in 2014 that matched our library collections with course use. So these are scholarly monographs, DRM-free, unlimited user ebooks that have been adopted as required or supplementary titles in courses. And this has provided some really key benefits for us. Not only is this a student savings initiative that we can take part in, but it also provides a very relatable and understandable story for different user groups on the value of library collections and in investing in library collections. So students, parents, administrators, they all have a sense of course materials and the impact on student success. And so by integrating library collections into that discussion, we've been able to talk about how library collections improve those outcomes and encourage investments in collections. Also, through this program, we've learned more about how users on our campus use ebooks, including sentiments like this. We hear frequently that if money were not an issue, students would prefer both print and ebook access. And so as a result, we do see that students, especially in taking courses in their major, will still buy a print book for their permanent collection. We also see that library access enables faculty to select more titles to encourage students or require students to read, really enhancing, we think, teaching and learning and helping us meet the mission of the academic library. And then this program, I think, also appears to be encouraging discoverability of other ebooks, and this is both anecdotally based and me reading into our usage data, but it appears that users find related books in collections after having one of our books assigned in their class, and this is important to us because strong usage trends help drive reinvestments in our collections. And then other outcomes of our DRM-free policy more broadly are that we do see that some titles with DRM come at a premium cost, and this is just something I wanted to acknowledge. We also acknowledge limitations of our approach. Not all publishers that we would want to be buying ebooks from sell their books in this format for us. And then there are also, I have heard about discoverability challenges of ebooks. So as I mentioned, we use our Gobi profile and buy large ebook collections, but I've heard from other librarians in the state of Louisiana, like from this listserv, that they have challenges finding the publishers and suppliers that sell their books with this more generous DRM-free access. So here's one that says that at the end: how do we find publishers and suppliers that do offer more generous DRM-free access? I'm still not sure. So I hope that we can kind of maybe discuss some of these things in the subsequent conversation.